And we are live. Okay, now it's instant on Facebook. All right. Good evening, Dobbs. Let me turn down the volume. All right. So, hi, Dobbs. Let's see how many people get on to watch the stream. But anyway, we've started first. So, if you're late, you can catch up with the stream. And in any case, when the interview, the session finishes, I'll be uploading it to Facebook. Link on the Facebook is in the description here. Please like our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell for YouTube. It will also remain on our Facebook group, so feel free to watch later in case you can't catch it live. So, okay, without further ado, I want to to thank my guests tonight for this live session. There's two Dobbs. You may or may not know them. That's Eric Siew with the headphones, and Selina Chew. Hi guys. So perhaps for those who don't know you, perhaps you could introduce yourself and tell the Dobbs what you actually do in real life. So starting with you, Eric.
Me. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I am a lecturer at the time being. I'm back in my alma mater. I graduated from IMU, so now I'm back in IMU teaching as a lecturer. So that is my job at the moment. But of course, along the side, I also do some other things in which I do make websites, and of course I do run a company at the site there, and that has been also another somewhat like a passion for myself to actually go into this web design thing. So I've been doing this for quite a while, concurrently after office hours with a team of a group of people to actually get this going. So yeah. So pretty much pretty much that's about me.
Okay, full-time lecturer, part-time in web design, or
more like full-time in the morning as a lecturer, full-time at night as a.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Selina? Well, maybe you like to tell the Dobbs what you actually do and what your other passion is.
Yeah, sure. Hi. So I'm Selina. I'm a medical doctor. I'm actually an MO in IMR for the time being. So I started this movement or community here. It's called Medic Footprints Malaysia. It's something I'm collaborating with the UK with. It's to help doctors find other alternative career paths and also to address doctors' well-being. Yeah. That's what I do part-time. And then in my free time, I'm mostly rock climbing. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting person. For me, I mean, for those who they think I might be full-time in Dobbs and part-time in medicine. But Dobbs has been my alternative sort of hobby not more than career. So it's been about 20 years now in Dobbs, and we've slowly grown our community. So it's very nice to see a large group in Facebook, growing group in Telegram, and so on. But the idea of these evening live sessions actually also is I hope to bring in Dobbs, to bring a face to the Dobbs community. I think sometimes when we just share posts on Facebook, it gets a little bit impersonal, and we forget that there's actually a person behind each share or each comment and so on. So from time to time, I'll be inviting Dobbs to come in, and we'll probably try to have some theme each time we have an interview or sharing or discussion like this. So the theme tonight is on alternative pathways. I'm not saying that this is going to be an alternative career for you altogether. Even though times are hard for the young doctors, those on contracts, always that looming fear that your contract isn't going to be renewed, or perhaps you might end up finding that clinical medicine isn't your passion, and you are really looking for something else to do. So, I think Eric and Selina have two dobbers whom I think may just share with you what you can do to enrich your lives, or maybe find something which may drive another part of you besides pure clinical medicine. Maybe we'll start with Eric. Actually, Eric is a silent dobber for quite some time, and I didn't realize until Eric messaged me one day and say, "Hey, can I spruce up Dobbs?" I've been amateur web page creator for quite some time, and I use WordPress as my engine for the Dobbs homepage and my own personal page. And I thought I knew quite a lot about WordPress until Eric said, there's quite a lot to do. And actually, if you go to Dobbs main page, dobbs.my, it's actually undergone a tremendous redesign, and Eric has done a terrific job. I mean, I learned quite a lot of how to make websites more simple, load faster, and quite a few other tips. And Eric has maybe you want to share how you got into WordPress and gone into this side business of web, your web business.
Maybe I share with you just a short slide about how I went through the process. At least everybody gets a better idea. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Share the screen. Okay, so everybody seeing this, the PowerPoint slide?
I'm adding it now to the stream. Okay, I'm going to make it the main thing.
Okay. So can you see it, Dr. Allen?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
All right.
But it's not the full screen. You can make it like a PowerPoint show or full screen if you like.
Okay. Okay. So that's roughly how I went through before I got into this web design thing. So I mean, I was in the government service for 4 years like many of us. But my housemanship period was just a year as compared to now that is 2 years. So I did 1 year houseman, then 3 years as the government service. Then I went to district posting and stuff. So right at the end of 4 years, I just left the government service. I went to private practice for a year. I was with BP Healthcare. Then soon after that, I moved on, wanted to try different country and see how's the health system like. So I was in Singapore for at least 5 years plus, and I was with the other side of the government for what they call it as the National Health Group Polyclinics for 5 years before I moved back to. I took some time off from practicing to take care of the kids and all before I came back. So after that, only I came back to Malaysia and came back to KL. Then I went back to my old uni and started teaching. So that's about close to 2 years now. So that's pretty much how's my pathway. So I've been technically in medicine for maybe about 10 over years. Not as long as Dr. Allen, but of course, definitely way shorter than his service career, but mine is about 10 years plus. So now, of course, how I started web design, I didn't actually go into WordPress, or at least jump straight into learning web design first. I was actually running a business then, which I started in 2016, which is approximately about 4 years ago. So it's still running per se, it's still sustaining, but it's not like exactly it's making money, but the money that comes in is actually to keep it sustained. But It's somewhat like an extra income for myself. But from that itself, the e-commerce site, I managed to learn how to actually create websites, which led me to how to use WordPress. So because at that point of time, I was actually trying some web designers helping me to run the e-commerce stores. They just couldn't get what I wanted. So end up I had to do it myself. So I cannot tahan. So I actually learn it myself and go and tweak it myself. So from there, running business and stuff like that, dealing with suppliers, distributors, and I get to meet people outside of medicine. I get to know that people outside of medicine think differently. They have different mindset and how they work things out. So that got me very curious yet interested in the other part of the world apart from the medicine world. So this is something that I used to. I mean, is something that I along for the past. Remember the time where I was like. I was in Singapore, but there was a period where I wasn't working. So I took that time off to go and learn new things. So these are one of the few of the sites that I really go to and learn up stuff. I read up every day, every night. After taking care of the kids in the morning and all, and by evening, I spend about 2 hours or so just running through all these sites and reading everything up along the way. So while I was doing all this thing, it wasn't very easy to get the first customer for my web design thing. So it took me maybe like more than 6 months or so to actually get my first customer, and that was also because it was kind of like a word of mouth thing, and my colleague's husband just somehow got in touch with me. Then of course that's one of the challenges in when you first start off with doing your own thing so but by word of mouth actually it helped so challenges in, of course, these are the challenges in getting clients as a medical professional. Usually patients come to us we don't really go to people, right? But in the other side of the world, right, it is kind of very different. You actually need to go and hustle for your first client, so that takes up that was a bit of challenge because trust issues, don't have any portfolio, and best of all is no credentials one. So who wants to hire you? I also don't know. So I find it very difficult then to actually get somebody to actually engage your service. So, but then again, somehow one way or other, there was an opportunity for the award. There's this called the Malaysia Website Awards, which I entered. So which bagged me a first prize for e-commerce site, and also not just for I got 2 awards, one for the month one and the other one for the site of the year. No monetary but you see that there's 12,000 ringgit there, right? But there's actually a coupon value in it, but it's more of their domain and stuff like that. But more importantly is the recognition that helped me along the way to get new customers. So this picture has been with me ever since then. So it was like a badge for me to actually, if people ask what's your qualification, I say I got no qualification, but I won an award. This is my award. So that got them hooked on to what I need to say. So that is something that until now, I still use it on and off. So how did Dobbs come in was what Dr. Allen said. I was doing websites with then I saw Dobbs. Then I wanted to upload my APC. Then I wanted to upload some particular details. Then I found it the site wasn't loading. So I just texted Dr. Allen and said, Dr. Allen, you want me to fix the speed? It's a bit slow. So he said, is it very slow? So I said, okay, come. Fix. So that's how I got to know Dr. Allen, and through him also he was nice enough to actually introduce to another few people through his kind words. So I also managed to get a few jobs from within his circle. So that was also how I got in touch with Dobbs. But I've been very silent on Dobbs. I don't really talk much. I'm just at the back end reading what everybody is posting, but pretty much it. So of course I started my company just not too long ago, but it's running, and I used to call it a one-man team company, but now that I run with a couple of people, it makes my life a lot easier. So that's yeah. So how did it start was of course I started one man. Then after that I met various people from various industries. Then I got to know that everybody has their own unique subset skill, and also I just asked them, you're interested to come work alongside with me, because since that I have this, I can do this and you can do that. Maybe if we team up and tag team together, then maybe we can be a more powerful team, you see. So that itself, we managed to gather 5 of us, and that helped in the process of getting new clients. Sometimes I don't actually go and get new clients, my teammates will go and get new clients. So then because of true connections and intros and stuff like that, we get us new jobs. So so this, in a way, my company has no office. My office is my home. So this keeps our overhead costs low. So payment wise is more of like got job, we split all the payment together lah. With no job, then we go and find jobs together lah. So it's not like I come out gaji and I pay you, because everybody has their own jobs, you see. So we come together as in the evening to work something out together as a somewhat like a side income for us. So it was helpful, and it's still helpful that it actually helps us along the way to build our portfolio and stuff like that. So yes, so yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is my old slide lah, but I'm just sharing. I used to use this to share through many prints, so which Selina is here as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much how I got into doing web design. And of course, WordPress itself, learning just take a bit of time. It's not like overnight I managed to learn, because doing WordPress is not difficult. Actually, to be honest, everybody can make their own website. It's actually not too difficult. But along the way, we still need to upgrade ourselves. And of course, I'm a little bit on the OCD side. So I like everything to be fast. I like everything to be clean. I like everything to just be in proper place. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. So yeah, this is what Dr. Allen is showing. This is kind of like my side. So
yeah, that's Eric. You have to tell the Dobbers.
Okay.
Why CHOOBUB? I thought it was quite cute. Why is your company and a website called CHOOBUB?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me like, why is the company called CHOOBUB? It doesn't sound very. It sounds very kiddie. I mean, it is kiddie because the name came from my daughter. You see, so my daughter was very small then, maybe a year, just started speaking and all. So she wanted to ask me about a particular object, but somehow she just couldn't figure out what's the name. So she just labeled it as CHOOBUB lah. So, and she said just CHOOBUB, and every day she would refer to that as CHOOBUB. So I find it very interesting lah, as in, even kids can get very creative, right, in how they name things and stuff like that. So if I don't take that name once she grew up, she probably wouldn't remember it anymore. So I thought I just use that as something that is memorable that she came up with, and give it a meaning. So I took over that name, and I use it as my company's name, or at least the brand name for what I'm doing. So to tell that we are actually a bunch of we are creative people. We try to make things creative. We try to make business work. So even for my website, right? Although I say that I make websites, but actually my business plan is not just making websites alone. Because with my team, right, website is just a stepping stone into more businesses. Because we figured that a lot of new businesses, they usually kind of at a loss, because usually they are run by a small team, or maybe it's just startup and stuff like that. They don't know how to actually move about. So it's not that I'm very good at business. I'm not good at business also, but I'm grateful that I met people who are in the industry for very long. So that itself, this team of mine will come in and say, okay, let's plan out your business proposals, look at your business plans, what are your marketing strategies, along the way. Then after that, do you need a website? What do you need to copyright? What kind of graphics do you need? Do you need social media marketing? Who's going to write up the content for you? How are you going to write it? Are you going to write it professionally? Are you writing it to a layman person? Who's going to read? Who's going to be reading? Who is your target audience? So these are the things that is all hidden, which I don't show it on my website because people find it very hard to understand. So my website is very clear cut. Make websites. So from the making website part, once I get engaged with the person, then we'll tell them all these stories lah. No, just making website alone is not enough. One, you just make a website, right? Then what? Who's gonna come? Who's gonna see? Who's gonna read? Is your website just a trophy for you to showcase, or are you gonna do something? Is your website gonna give you some leads? Are your website gonna get you customers? Are you gonna sell some? Your just website is just like a business card, just put there and let people see that kind of thing. So what do you want?
I think what you say is very relevant, Eric. I mean, sometimes doctors don't realize, even within us in our medical profession, I feel strongly that, this, especially in the COVID-19 era now, people realize everything is beyond clinic, brick and mortar. It's good to have an internet presence. I think not just for your clinic, your hospital, but maybe even for yourself, because there's nothing better than to showcase what you do, but within ethical guidelines, of course. Because sometimes you'll be surprised when before the patient comes to see you, they've already Googled you.
Correct.
So I've Googled Eric, I've Googled Selina. When you Google Selina, you see rock climbing. Very impressive. I don't think I could climb more than a few steps up the rocks you climb. But you'll be surprised what you can find of yourself on the internet. So unless you control that aspect, you people might get a skewed view of you in terms of your internet presence. Yeah. By the way, the links to all Eric's and Selina's work I will put down later in the Facebook chat, and also I'll be uploading the video to our YouTube channel, and I'll put all the links to Eric and Selina's work, so you can visit that later. And also feel free to ask in the Facebook comments. I think I should be able to see, but you will have to give StreamYard your permission, then only your name comes up. Otherwise, we can't see your name. You just be a Facebook user or something, Okay, maybe we'll move on to Selina, and maybe you'd like to tell us how you got into Medic Footprints.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I don't have a slide, so I'll just tell you how this all started. So I graduated from Indonesia. I came back and I did my housemanship, and then I did my district posting, and then I decided that the posting that I really enjoyed was ICU and anesthesia. And then I was so sure I was going to be an intensivist. Like I absolutely love how the ICU works, but then there was something about it that just didn't really resonate with me. The part that I felt that the environment was just very toxic. I wasn't happy, but I thought, maybe once I become a specialist, things might be different. Although I see a lot of specialists being bullied by their fellow specialists as well. So what happened was I'm really active in sports. Like ever since I was in school, I played like volleyball, I played futsal, squash, like all sorts of sports. So I may have injured myself over the years. Then after that, I picked up rock climbing. Then one day I just had a very painful spasm down my leg. I wasn't sure what was going on. Then turns out that I had a slip disc. It was quite bad because even the orthopedic surgeon was like, how are you walking right now? He was so shocked at the MRI finding. And then I had to be on empty because I couldn't walk. I really couldn't walk. Like it compressed the nerve, so the muscles were not contracting, and it was just so painful. Then so I took 1 month off to recuperate, and then when I came back, I still had a lot of like neurological deficit. Like walking was hard. I couldn't walk like I could probably walk 3 meters and then I had to rest. And this is like me being super active. So then after that, like my superior was not very actually the entire department. I was in a new hospital. I was in anesthesia. Then my department boss, he was not very supportive. He just told me I didn't have a future in anesthesia. So that I was like quite heartbroken because I actually was studying to take the residency course in the intensivist resident course in Australia. I was like, okay, I think I want to do this. And then when this happened, like I just thought, you know what, I just want to break from all this. Like it was just so toxic. I just wanted a break. So I took a very desperate leap into IMR. So that's how I ended up there. Then throughout that 1 year, I was just very depressed. I didn't know what to do because my whole identity was being a doctor. So if you're not a doctor, then like, well, what else do? I wake up. Before that, I wake up, I go to work, and then I treat patients, and I felt purposeful. And then suddenly, I just didn't have that purpose anymore. And then I started Googling. I was like looking like doctors leaving clinical medicine in Malaysia. Like nothing came up. Like absolutely nothing. Then I was like searching and searching and searching. I was like looking for anybody to talk to. Then that's how I came across Medic Footprints in UK. I just sent them an email. Like I just poured my heart out, and they replied. They were very encouraging. Like, hey, maybe you can try all these different things. Then so I thought, okay, let me just give myself like a year to like try out anything and everything that's got nothing to do with medicine. So I wasn't in contact with them anymore. And then I just started dabbling in stuff. Like Eric had an e-commerce store. I also tried to start up an e-commerce store. It was a drop shipping. I tried to do drop shipping, but it didn't turn out. I just burned my money. And then after that, I started dabbling. I tried like other stuff. Like I started reading books, and then I went into stock trading. Then I started to look up property investments. Then I came across this one book. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's like a super old book, but this book changed my life. Like it literally saved me. So after that, like I started trying a lot of things, and then in that time I decided to just go all out on all my passions. I tried trail running, and then I wrote a book about it. After that, I do rock climbing, and then I also have a book on it. Then after I did all this stuff, I felt so rejuvenated. Then I look around and I saw all my peers. Like I had a friend who we were in housemanship together, and then after that we were in NS together, and then she transferred to another hospital, and then the bullying was so bad, and she had all this suicidal ideation. She had to go to psych and all that. And then now she's slightly better, but I can see that she still didn't have that purpose. For us, like being doctors is like your purpose is to treat patients, and if you don't treat patients, then you are like, who are you? What are you, right? So that's when, and then I saw all my colleagues around me, they were all so depressed. Those that left medicine, like clinical medicine, they were so lost. They don't know what to do. And then I felt like, hey, I know what to do. Like there's so many things out there. So that's when I decided, hey, maybe, like let's start something here, like a community. Then, because if I alone try to help them, it's very limited. Like my capacity is so limited. But if I had an organization, like, there's something bigger than me that could like provide all this help. So that's how I just contacted like Medic Footprints UK. I was like, hey guys, remember me? Like 3 years ago, I spoke to you. I think I want to start something here. And then I had an option whether to start something entirely mine or to just collaborate. And I figured like if I collaborate, things would like pick up really fast. So I decided to just collaborate with them, use their brand, everything. And then within 2 months, I really started the first like networking event. And then my first networking event, we had a couple of speakers. We had 2 speakers. And the thing I found very interesting about it is the event is 10 to 12. At 2:30, I still had trouble getting people to leave. Like nobody wanted to leave. So that's when I realized like this is actually what people need. Like they just want to belong somewhere and have people to like, like support each other. Because I feel that all this doctors' well-being, alternative career, it's such a huge taboo that nobody wants to address. Because maybe
Exactly, Selina. May I share your website?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I think Selina's website is Medic Footprints. Hang on. Right. Medicfootprints.org. Is this
Yeah.
the main site or is this?
Yeah, this is the main site. It's actually the UK site. The Malaysia one is not up yet. But here you can actually just sign up for the newsletter, and then you get like a monthly newsletter on updates of events, things, and then because soon in future we're going to offer some memberships, and it will be more stories that are local, like more local based with a local context, so something that we can all relate to.
Right. I think there's also a Medic Footprints Facebook for Malaysia. So I'll post that link later on as well for those who are interested. But I think what you're doing is very good because if you think about it, I think a lot of doctors are, for some reason, thinking of alternative paths. If one maybe to supplement income, because I mean, if you're in the government side, the pay isn't that great, so people do locums. But what about doing something beyond medicine? So yeah, I think
I think we've been very tunnel vision. We've been taught to think only in the clinical world. But then if you actually expand, right, you see, like say hospitals, they run by businessmen. So when businessmen run these hospitals, right, they cannot think like doctors. They'll be like, why are you incurring this cost, this cost, this cost? Say patient needs an emergency CT brain, and then the businessman will be like, no, this is wasting money. So that's when you as a doctor, you can actually fill up a lot of these gaps. Like it doesn't have to be clinical medicine. Maybe you can pick another skill that you have and then you combine with your medical knowledge. You can you can do a lot of other stuff.
How many seminars or networking sessions have you had so far this year?
We have one every month. In April we stopped because of the COVID, but then now we are online. You can actually, if you follow us on Medic Footprints Malaysia Facebook or our Instagram handle Medic Footprints Malaysia, I mean, there's always a update like when the event is and then how to book your seats. So we have speakers from most of our speakers are doctors who have gone on to other careers. Like Eric came and he gave a talk about how to get into WordPress, your web designing and all that. Yeah, so just just follow us there, and then you get a monthly update. Our next one is actually next Saturday, so it's going to be a medical doctor who went on into the ICT field. Like she's now leading all this big project in creating the electronic medical records for the hospitals in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So you just come and listen. Like it's really. I mean, maybe you will pick up something and then give you an idea what you can do in future for yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Do visit Medic Footprints Malaysia Facebook group, and maybe you can join in the event the following Saturday. Is that right? And where will it be held?
It's a webinar.
Oh, web. All right. Okay, we're still in the COVID-19 era.
Yeah.
I forgot. So it's still online, though it's a bit relaxed now. You can have meetings provided you follow the SOP.
Yeah. Yeah, but with the webinar, I find that more people can join, like because if not, you'll be very limited to geography.
How difficult is it to start up a company, Eric? Did you encounter barriers?
For me, it was very easy. I have a secretary, but this secretary I met through LinkedIn. So we connected, and somehow she introduced herself. We chatted and stuff like that. Then she didn't actually sell me her service lah, but she just said, "Oh, I'm into this business that I'm providing these online services to people who wants to start up their company." I said, "Okay, that's interesting. So how do you do it?" So I said, "You don't even have to come and see me." I said, "Oh, really? That good?" So documents need to prepare. I said, "Need, but you submit to me all online, and I will register with the SSM site. All get it done for you." So okay, I said that easy. Last time I remember even starting a Sendirian Berhad is like a big major chore, that kind of thing. So I engaged her service. Then she just tabled out all the documents she needed from me, and I just passed it to her. Then she just submitted to SSM, got everything ready. I made the payment. Then she processed within a week or two. Everything is up. Even my bank account for my company, she filled up all the forms for me. She said, "Eric, which bank do you want?" I said, "I want this bank." "Okay, you. I fill up all the form for you. Which location you want?" "What location also can do for me?" I said, "Okay." Then once she filled up everything, she sent it by mail, not email lah, but real mail to my home address. Then he said, "Okay, Eric, you just go to this bank, give it everything there, and I fill up everything for you. You don't even have to put a pen down." So okay, all you need to do is just sign the papers in front of them. So I just took it to the bank, signed everything, and voila. Within next couple of days, bank account, everything is up. So to be honest, right, it's so easy as compared to last time. So setting up a company is like, of course, it's a little bit pricey compared to starting up a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor, you can actually walk into SSM and do it, but to do a Sendirian Berhad, you do need to actually, a bit more.
But I think as some of us specialists found out painfully some years back, you cannot put your clinical income into the Sendirian Berhad, otherwise the taxman will come after you. So this Sendirian Berhad is a separate entity which you engage your alternate income source, so to speak.
Correct. Nothing medical, but it's mainly for the other side.
Do you think a lot of I think that I see quite a few people go on to two main things, either some online business or selling something, like Selina, you mentioned about dropship. Is it the term where you
yes, dropshipping,
saw something cheap, probably from China, and then you market it locally or something like that? I know you don't really keep a physical store. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I don't think I could do that, though. We did have a T-shirt bulk buy some years ago, and it's a lot of work. I did it for fun. I mean, the things we do in Dobbs are not for money; it's for fun. We had mugs and T-shirts, so that was about not really dropship, but I managed to get somebody to print it in bulk and make the mugs. I think they're still in demand. Those who remembered the what being a doctor is like riding a bicycle, except the bicycle is on fire, you're on fire, and everything is on fire, or something like that, and then you realize you're in hell. So that T-shirt was very popular, and the mug, which I still have today, is the please don't confuse your Google search with my medical degree mug, which I keep in my clinic. And my patients are all very amused, and I still get people asking me, "Hey, do you still have some more mugs? I broke mine," and so on. So you never know, you might find some niche to sell, maybe to colleagues and maybe to others. But I think it's very competitive selling things online, and it takes a lot of time. But maybe you get a team. So instead of a website business, it could be an online dropship business. But it's quite challenging. But maybe you might have a passion there. Yeah. The other one I find is a lot of doctors also like to go into tech. Is that right? Something. I have some dobbers in mind. I think there's QMed. Maybe we'll call Kevin. Kevin had some.
Yeah, he was one of our speakers once.
Another dobber is selling medical equipment online. I think that there are those into maybe IT and so on. I think as a side business or side income. So beyond clinical work, either doing locums and so on. Actually, the if you have ideas, maybe for an app or for a particular niche service, you never know where you will take off. For example, I think and it may be related to medicine. So the group which did the house call doctor service, um, I think I don't know how that's doing, but that I think became quite big, if I'm not mistaken. And you could maybe even start up a mobile doctor service like they did in Singapore, if I remember as well. Mm. But it's up to you to see where the needs are, and you might find a niche which might benefit not just you, but actually benefit your others as a service. But I think I'm just looking through the alternative careers in the Medic Footprints UK website, and I think it's an amazing list of options. Um, I know of colleagues who actually just change um, path halfway or even late in their careers. There was a senior colleague of mine, a neurosurgeon, who migrated to Canada, and then he moved on to just I think just second opinions, and then more medical legal sort of career now. So actually, you can just drop if you don't like clinical work, you may move on to something else. And then I actually have a classmate who completely changed. He was op-gyn in Malaysia, then he went to the US, and he's now a psychiatrist. So you never know where you end up years down the line. Yeah. You have any other interesting alternate career paths you can share, Selina? What as far as you encounter in Malaysia?
I've encountered. Okay, so the speakers that we had, one was Kev Lim. He started QMed, and he started QMed because he was sending he had a daughter that needed to go for medical checkup all the time, and then he saw that there was an issue with the waiting system. So then it was a problem for him that he wanted to solve. So that's how he came up with QMed. So I thought that was very interesting. And the thing is, health tech is like, it's not even at the start of the curve. So if you want to get into, I think health tech right now is really good and it's expanding really, really fast. So as long as I think this is a very good niche for doctors who like solving problems to go into, because you find a problem and then you just look for a solution. If you can fix this problem, then that's how you add value for yourself and for the community, and that's how you can market yourself and make it a career. I had someone who went into pharma, so that's also an option. I know of people who go to underwriting, insurance, selling insurance, life insurance, medical insurance. I had one that was also could not fit into the system. His HOD did not like him, so he left clinical medicine and then he went into the lab. Then what else did we have? I know of a surgeon, trained surgeon in the UK. She came back here and she decided to pursue her passion in baking. So she left it all and just opened a restaurant and baked. Yeah, so I have a friend who left clinical medicine altogether and he went into real estate investment. So I think really the sky is the limit. You just have to decide, you want something that is still relevant to clinical or not relevant to clinical. If you want something that's clinical, just try to think about things around it, like problems. Okay, maybe for us, for me, when I was in clinical, I get very irritated because all these patients that come in, they come in at very, very late stages of whatever diseases they have. So try to find a way to solve this problem where you don't have so many patients coming into the hospital. Maybe it's preventive medicine. So wellness and things that don't just cure the disease, but before that you want to intervene way before that. So try to find a way to what can you do there. So that's how you can use your clinical your medical background. Then if it's non-clinical, then you can just do just about anything you want. You can go if baking is your passion, you should just pursue it. I think life is short and you just should do what you want to do, not what society expects of you. So what if you're a doctor, right? Or you graduated as a doctor, but you should not be doing it for other people. You should just do something for yourself. And that's all I mean, that's how I think.
So that's a comment in Facebook saying that, if you look at it from another angle, we should address the root of the trend. Why are doctors increasingly disillusioned with the medical career? I mean, the question is actually, do people actually look for an alternate pathway because actually they went into medicine by a mistake?
I don't think so. Okay, so I've got a lot you have no idea how many emails I get, just asking for help. Like, hey, help me. I want to find a way out. And a lot of them are depressed, and a big majority of it is a toxic environment that sends them out. I think that's something inherently wrong with our system, and it's not about being delusional. You see, everyone is overworked because there's not enough manpower in the department, right? But then when a new doctor, new MO or new specialist come in, then it depends how the boss in the department handles it. I've been to a hospital where I see specialists bullying each other, and the bullying is so bad. Like, if you're a senior, you get only 2 calls a month. If you're a junior, you get 10 calls a month. So if you bully all these juniors and you drive them away, then they're going to leave, and then you always have not enough manpower and everyone will be overworked. So it's like a very vicious cycle. I think something needs to change there. That's like that mindset where seniority and bullying and all this is the thing. I think this is the root cause of all the issues. Because if we just want to feel like we belong somewhere, you go into a department, you don't feel like you belong, people bully you, push you around, like just throw shit at you, then you will want to leave. Who wouldn't want to leave, right? Then you always have not enough people in the department, and then you'll always be overworked. So that's what I think. That's the root cause that needs to be addressed. So it goes down to well-being and mindset.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think through the years, things haven't changed a lot, and I think and maybe it's even harder now, where the level of expectation by patients, by your bosses, and so on actually have gone higher and higher. And medicine actually, people who step in hospital don't expect to die. Their stage 4 cancers must be cured. It's tough. And then if you're a junior doctor, you get a lot of stresses. And there's also this issue of maybe bullying and maybe some level of abuse from colleagues, possibly. That was highlighted a year or so ago when it came out in the press and so on. And actually, we did a survey and found there's quite a high incidence of bullying, and it actually affects doctors' morale. And I think that when people start to look for something else, so it may be a push factor from the toxic environment. Maybe there's a pull factor also, maybe trying to enhance your income or something else. So there's a comment by Raymond Choi. This is a great session. Thank you, Raymond. Raymond actually is another one who found something else, and that's actually in telemedicine. So he started a telemedicine company called Doc to Us, which is DOC to Us, or Talk to Us actually, which is actually quite a clever name. So there's one of the local brand actually started in Singapore, but it's also in Malaysia now, a telemedicine company. And then there's another one started by another Malaysian doctor, initially based in UK, but now he's back. And also his team is started Circles MD. I don't know whether you've heard of it, but it's something like a chat service for medicine. So, I mean, we shouldn't be using like WhatsApp or Telegram to discuss patients or for patient care. So Circles MD is actually an option, and that's homegrown. Okay, it's similar to like Silo.com, which is a European born version where you can actually discuss patients. So this is another tech uh, career path which some doctors have taken up. But the sky's the limit. I agree, Selina. The sky's the limit. I think Eric has found his niche, and I think I think he will do very well because I think he's very knowledgeable, and I think his team will go far. If
Hope
you
so.
have a website, I think my colleagues, I've seen actually one of my colleagues who is a surgeon. I think you done up his website very well. Previously, it was very messy, and now it's clean. It loads very fast. So, if you have a website, if you're a specialist or you have a clinic and you want to have a nice website, and if it runs on WordPress especially, I think Eric can help spruce it up. So actually, you should get in touch with CHOOBUB Designs and get it done professionally by a colleague who understands what medical needs are. And Selina will also be there if you need to have ideas on what other alternative careers or pathways you may want to pursue for whatever reason, whether it's the push factor or the pull factor, or maybe just maybe it's just a challenge. For me, actually, it's a bit late in my career. I can't imagine what it was if it had been 30 years earlier. If I'm here right now, I think the options are tremendous. And I really don't know whether I would have done what I'm doing now. Maybe I've gone into tech full time, started something. Yeah.
Still not
Any
too
other
late.
thoughts? Yeah, Eric, you want to give any tips to young doctors who are thinking of some alternative pathway?
I think one way to start is maybe I actually started using LinkedIn not too long ago, and I found that it's actually a very good place to brand yourself. I don't think many doctors are on LinkedIn as far as I know. I don't see many lah, or maybe I've not connected with them. But to be honest, there are a lot of engineers on LinkedIn. There are a lot of lawyers on LinkedIn, but doctors I don't really see. Maybe everybody is too busy; they can't be bothered to be on LinkedIn. But I don't know. I really don't know. But I think LinkedIn is a platform if you really want a good discussion platform, or I mean, Facebook is where you see pets and you see your family members lah. But if you want something apart from family members and pets and cats and stuff like that, then LinkedIn would be a good choice to actually give yourself a boost, a head start to connect with the right people, and you can speak about medicine, and people will look to you with authority if you are consistent enough, and they will actually engage your service one way or another. So, and why I say so is because I recently conducted a copywriting session. To be honest, I'm no copywriter myself, but because I write, right, so I just wanted to test out whether actually people would want to pay for my service. That I teach them how to write, like write to sell, that kind of thing, and to write to just get people's attention and to engage, because I enjoy writing. So I write a lot on LinkedIn. So I tested out. I did a survey. I asked them, saying, "Hey guys, is there anything that you want to learn?" So because I've been posting so regularly, and I do get a lot of engagement and comments and likes and loves and all this kind of stuff on LinkedIn, right? So it shows that it's kind of like an indirect proof that I can do it. but I tell them that I'm not a copywriter and I'm not like a guru or a coach. But if you want me to teach you, because I like teaching, I don't mind sharing, but because of the time I invest in it to come up with a course for you, are you willing to pay or not? So I gave them an amount. So I said, how much are you willing to pay? After I surveyed, they said that they wanted copywriting. Okay, fine. I said, how much were you willing to pay for a 2-hour course if I'm going to teach you copywriting? So some said 50, some said 100, 200, even 300. I said, okay, 300. I was average Malaysian to fork out 300 ringgit for a special. There's so much better than me sitting in the clinic doing locum. Really. So I'm like, okay, this is a bit too far-fetched, but I said, okay, because I have a seafood, so I have a mentor, and then she guides me along the way when I do business and stuff. So I asked her, I said, if I charge 50, can I said, don't be silly. I said, people already look up to you. People already know that you can write. Just put there, slap there $100. I said, okay, let's try lah. I put up. I said, okay, I'm gonna have this course. Just a short period notice within 5 days. I said, I'm gonna have this course. I put it up LinkedIn. Every day I post today say that I'm gonna have this course. Then I link it to my site, which you saw earlier. I put a payment gateway there so that they can pay easy. So I promoted it 3 times on LinkedIn, and surprisingly, I managed to get 6 people to pay 100 ringgit for my course, for a 2 hours course. And this is just for me to try out, see whether people are actually willing to pay money for nobody to teach them something. So surprisingly, people do pay.
Yeah. I agree about LinkedIn. It's actually, people are just into Facebook, Twitter, and so on. But LinkedIn is like the professional networking platform where people showcase their skills, their training, and their work qualifications, etc. And I think the headhunters like to go into LinkedIn and then look for people. Correct. And so people who go into LinkedIn to look for jobs as well. So it is a more serious side to social networking, whereas Facebook is a little bit more the fun and frivolous, and where you look for cat videos and stuff like that, I think. But LinkedIn may be something where if you're looking for to network with people for your work or some alternative pathway you want to seek, then I think it's something worthwhile to consider. But also I think people should create their own internet persona, not just in LinkedIn or Facebook, but maybe your very own web page. And if you have a specific domain name like your name or something, may not be CHOOBUB, but maybe your actual name, then you better book it before it's taken up. So I think something to consider. It doesn't take a lot to set up a website. It doesn't cost a lot of money nowadays. But to set up something well and to make it well known, that's something else.
Just to answer Betty's question, what gateway did I use? I use Bill Please payment gateway. So yeah, Bill Please, BILLPLZ, Bill Please. So yeah,
Well, we've taken up almost an hour. An hour now. I think we had a great sharing session. I think I would like to thank really Eric and Selina. I hope everyone, we gave everyone some ideas and a real food for thought on there's life beyond medicine. So we shouldn't be just blinkered into, we just trained to do medicine and nothing else. I think our skills may be used in many, many ways, and people have young ones actually probably have lots of ideas, and you may be able to do something with yourself, your life, your career in the future, to reach heights you've never imagined. So I wish you well, both Eric and Selina. So I wish you all success in your business and your medic footprints venture. And I think we will post the links to Eric's websites and Selina's websites, as well as her books, which she's authored this. I think you might find all of them interesting. And we are all in Dobbs, so feel free to post questions and engage in the Dobbs community, either in Facebook or in Telegram, whichever suits you. And maybe you can do more sharing there. Okay. Perhaps we'll. I don't know. Anything else you want to add before we call it a night?
No, oh yeah, just maybe just add on to what Eric said about LinkedIn and all. I think there's also an Instagram. It depends on who your target is. Instagram is actually a really good way. If say you're promoting yourself to, like, maybe you have a clinic or you have a business or anything, who your end users are. I think Instagram is like really amazing way. Like how I sold a lot of my books, especially my climbing book, it was mostly through Instagram. Like how you curate your own persona, what you want people to see you as. Like Instagram is really good at that, and that's how I managed to sell some of my books. I just thought I would share that. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I have no idea. I've never taken any course on learning how to write a book or anything. I just tried it out. There were things that I wanted to share, I wanted to teach, and I put it out in writing. And then I just look around at the format, and then I just put it out there, and people buy. So don't be afraid. I mean, if there's something you feel like you want to teach, you can share. Everybody has a story, so do not be afraid. Like, hey, it's already out there. Why would they buy my book? Who am I? And all this self-doubt. I think you should just put it out there. If you got value, you just put it out there. If people see the value, they will pay for it. So yeah, that's what my advice to you.
Yeah. My final advice to those who want to use social media, you got to keep it separate from your clinical professional life. So, but you can use like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But if you're going to promote a separate persona, you got to be very careful about the division in clinical work and this. I think if you are books or you're an author or something, it's fine. If you're going to be a social media influencer for something which is a particular brand or something, as long as it doesn't clash with your clinical work, that is if you're still doing it, I think we have to be very careful. But otherwise, I think Instagram is a great platform. Some of us like me, we just share whatever we eat, probably won't go very far, just food pictures. Or those who share cat photos probably won't go very far. But I think if you're using platforms to promote your idea, I think it's actually quite good. Any last words, Eric? Otherwise,
for me is I feel that don't leave medicine altogether, because this is my personal opinion. I think no matter how tough medicine is, don't just abandon your roots. I feel that medicine has taught us a lot of things in terms of how we communicate with one another, and that is actually our specialty. Many people realize that what can we do as a medical professional outside of medicine, but actually we are very good communicators. We listen, we talk to people, we know how to troubleshoot problems, and you'll be surprised that people in the working world, from what I see, many have difficulty communicating or at least understanding one another. So don't leave medicine. Although you don't see it right now, but you have a subset skill that will be useful if you do want to pursue something on the sides that give you an income or something to help you along the way. So I'm still practicing medicine. I didn't abandon it completely. I'm still teaching medical students. I'm still running clinics on and off. So it's not like I threw it away out the door, that kind of thing. So I still love medicine, but that doesn't mean that we cannot do other things apart from medicine itself. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I have absolutely no regrets myself. I mean, for me, many decades, quite a few decades. I would say how many decades. I don't know exactly how old I am, but I have no regrets. And I think unless you went into medicine for the wrong reason, then you should. We are doctors there. I think it's really a privilege to that patients can come to us, open up, and we are able to help them. And that's the reason why we actually went into medicine, basically to help people. But an alternative pathway need not replace your main one, but it may help give you some sense of, how should I say it, not peace, but maybe some satisfaction that you're able to do something or some achievement. And I think that may be something which may complement whatever you're doing in your main career. It may be just, for me, it just stuck as a hobby, but it could actually grow into something which may complement your income, or realize a passion which can grow into a business or something much bigger than a simple hobby. So anyway, think about it. If you have any comments, we'll I think Eric or Selina, if you pop into Facebook or Telegram, do share your experiences with anybody else who has some ideas. And Medic Footprints will have their regular seminars, webinars, and I think do visit the Medic Footprints Facebook page, and I'll post all the links later. So I think with that, we better call it a night. We've exceeded 1 hour. I promised them 1 hour at a time, but we thank you all for those of you who stayed on. But those of you who joined late, you can actually watch the whole thing from the beginning. And I bid everyone good night. So we'll cut the live stream right now. So thanks, Eric and Selina.
You're welcome.
It's been a great chat with you all. We hope to have this, if not weekly, maybe on some regular basis, when we can have some discussion or chat on another theme next time. Okay. All right.
Okay. All
Good
right.
night.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye.